Freedom. Okay, am I back? Freedom. What is the definition of freedom? Well, I'm glad you asked. You know, lately I have been in some revivals, okay? And to the common person or the general society, maybe I should say, would see what's going on in these revivals. They may look at them and say, those people, they're crazy. And you know, because those people let down their facade, they let down their inhibitions and just were free to worship God, to be excited, to dance around, to express their inner being without fear of condemnation or judgment of other people. You know, let's say, oh, those crazy people. These crazy people don't need to go out and get drunk to do this. Where the world, they will call us crazy, and yet you will see people go to football games, pay an enormous amount of money, put blocks of cheese on their heads, dress up. They will go on game shows and television and dress up and do just crazy things that I would say was crazy, and yet those people would call someone in a church letting their inhibitions go, will call them crazy. You know, too many times in this world, we are not free to express ourselves. We have to bottle up what we feel. We have to bottle up what we believe because we are so worried about what the world thinks about us. I don't care anymore. I have found how real God is, and I don't care what other people think. We need to realize that God wants us to be free, free to worship Him, free to express ourselves to Him, free to allow His Spirit to interconnect with our spirits so that we may be a spirit being in touch with God. So that that is what life is. That is what freedom is. It's not what the world portrays to you. Maybe you may say, well, that's not for me. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe you haven't connected with that type of a freedom. You know, lately in these revivals I've been in, and it's just, I remember the days where I'd just come home and I'd sit and just watch TV, and my brain would be like a sponge, just take in just the junk, and it did not benefit me at all. It was just full of emptiness. Now, you know, I've probably spoken before about to me, I don't, I gave up TV, maybe a little news here and there, just stuff if it's on. I don't watch TV. And some people may think I've criticized about people spending time watching football games, this and that and the other. Well, I don't want it to sound like it's about a bunch of do's and don'ts, because it's not about do's and don'ts. It's about a relationship with God. It's about loving God more than loving the world. You cannot make anyone love anyone. You cannot make anyone love God. Even you can preach up a storm, and you're not going to make somebody love God. That has to be something you have to find on your own. And my point being, when you fall in love with God, when you taste and see that the Lord is good and fall in love with Him, everything else will just fall off of you and it will not matter anymore. And you will be free from the confines of this materialistic world that controls the vast amount of people on this planet. So I just want to say, if you're one out there that thinks, if you happen to watch any of these things and in the back of your mind, say, these people are crazy. I thought that before too. Man, if you could just experience being crazy for God, I can't put anybody, if you could just experience that freedom, you would never be the same. Because in heaven, it's going to be it's going to be freedom. Total freedom. Freedom in the spirit. It'll be beyond our comprehension. And so I just wanted to bring that forth this morning about that. I'm hope people will check out these revivals, and hey, if it seems a little wild to you, just have an open mind. Have an open mind towards God and things of God, because it's not just about people getting happy and jumping around and falling down and things. It's not all about that. There is more to it. These people have lived a life, and many people have been in a bondage where they were not free because they was in bondage. They were in bondage to alcohol. They were in bondage to cigarettes. They were in bondage to pornography. They were in bondage to things that they were in slavery in the world, and found no freedom, no joy, no happiness, and they were just bound up, and they have found freedom. You can find freedom too. You can find freedom in Jesus. So if you get to that point where you are tired, you're tired of the bondage, you're tired of having to maintain a social status, you're tired of addiction to something that may be in your life, you are just tired of the life that this world offers, the bondage that this world offers. There is freedom in Jesus Christ. And I invite you to search for that freedom. And just like you fell in love when you were young, remember, you were doing anything. You weren't crazy. You were in love. So again, I just, come on here. I don't care what the world thinks anymore. I am in love with Jesus. I want everybody to be in love with Jesus. I want to see everyone out there in heaven someday. I don't want to see anybody in bondage. I don't want to see anybody have to deal with having to put up a facade to impress people in this world and to live up to everyone's standard. There's one standard to live up to, and that's God's. So, have a good day.